on I'm Not Judging, but today...
I feel like Mel Gibson and What Women Want. Some of the abject teenage laziness that you see from some of these swimming instructors is sweaty. You've got to take your shoes and socks off as well. It's going to be Veruca Central. I'm not even swimming. Surely I wouldn't ever have calls to turn around to my youngest and go, Fred, don't put your bum on that pigeon.
Hello and welcome to I'm Not Judging, but the podcast where we, three mums of school-aged kids, dive into the hilarious, chaotic and sometimes questionable world of modern parenting. I'm Briony May Williams.
And I'm Charlie Fuge.
And I'm Vix Wilshire.
Hello, my loves. How are you?
Hello, darling.
You had a good week?
I actually know, I'm going to be honest.
Oh.
I can be honest. Well, both Matt and Daisy have both been so poorly. And they've just been she's been off school for a whole week, lover, just gone back in. They're feeling a little bit better, but just like post-viral fatigue. And then I got a phone call from the school saying look, we know that she's poorly, but we are going to send you a letter about attendance. Because obviously they've only been back a few weeks. So the percentages, it's like she's under 80% attendance. So now I'm getting a letter to look forward to.
Why are they sending you, if they're actually saying, we know she's sick, but we're going to send you a letter anyway? What is the point?
And she was very nice about it, but geez, what can you do? I'm not going to send her in to get even worse.
No.
I'm not judging, but do better, school.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not judging, but we don't need to hit the statistic,
Yeah.
They're poorly.
Yeah. What about you, Charles?
I am better, but poor you, Vix, because when they're poorly and you're like, oh, and you want to hug them, and you want to be there for them, but at the very same time,
they're just there being snotty a week, and then I'm
as
next.
well, and you're like,
here's
oh,
the
I love
tickle.
you, don't touch me,
Don't touch
or
me.
breathe
Don't
on
touch
me.
Yeah, I know, love them. I just don't want to get ill. I ain't got time to be ill.
Yeah,
this is it. It's just not good when you're spinning all the plates.
No. I did have something cheer me up though.
What?
Well, it's bad really, but basically one of our neighbours surrounding in the area, they've obviously had somebody who just lets their dog just take a giant shit outside of their house every day. So I was walking along and I was like, what's that note? So got closer and I shall read it out to you, right? Bear with.
I love a note.
It said, right, to whoever is letting their effing dog shit outside our house every day, we effing hate you. If I catch your effing dog shitting outside our house again, I will rub it in your effing face. And then it just said 100%.
Wow.
That took me, oh my God, so long to stop laughing. But also,
that is
just clean your
note.
bloody shit up.
Pick your poop up. We're both dog owners, Vix. Pick up the poop.
Exactly, just pick it up. It's awful. And they've got kids and you don't want that in your house or your car, for God's sake. But yeah, I thought they must have been raging.
I love a note. When it's not aimed at me.
Yeah.
Have you ever left a note, Charles?
I have left a note.
Have you?
Have you? Anonymous?
Anonymous. But they're going to know now, or maybe they won't. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, what did it say?
So they park so... Now look, I'm not the best driver in the whole world, on the whole wide world, but they parked so close to my car, right? I couldn't get out of my parking space.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was Austin Powers and a 50, in, out. I was like, I just can't get out of this parking space. So I left a note being like, next time, please just leave a little bit of space.
Yeah.
I said it
bet it was
nicely.
a really
I
nice
didn't do any
note.
F-bombs. But then I hid in my, I hid because I was like, oh, I don't want them to see that it was me. But also, I want them to, not do that to people in the future. And then I saw them read the note and look around. And I was like, oh.
Oh, but you're so lovely. I bet you wrote such a polite note.
Wow. It was no F-bombs.
I like it.
So today we've got another excellent guest on, the lovely actor, presenter, and our friend Jo Sims.
Oh,
now, I love this because I always say to people in Bristol, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
You know, there's not even 6 degrees of separation. It will just be, you know, their brother or whatever.
Yeah.
And Vicky, you know Joe.
So I think we were about 18 or 19 and we met when we were working at the bar that is now called the Piano Bar next door to the Hippodrome. And pound a pint night, you remember? 3 for 2 on the Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah.
It was so
Me and
much
Charlotte
fun.
spent a lot of time in there.
I probably served you illegally.
That was our
God,
night out.
it was pumping. It was so great. And it was just like, there was me and Joe and another guy called Barry who were really close. And we just had so much fun. It was like, that period of my life is like, I was living in my own sitcom. We just walked back to my flat with like crates of beer. And I've just got so many great memories. And then I think they both left me in the same year. Like Joe went off to do acting and whatnot in London. And then Barry went back to Liverpool and I was bereft. But then we've just stayed in contact and just lots of lovely memories of Joe. He's just a lovely, lovely guy, which you will all see in a minute.
What about you, Charles? Obviously you met him at the radio the other week.
Yes.
What do you want to ask him?
Straight away, I could see why you guys are friends because he's lovely. Absolutely lovely guy.
He's so kind.
And obviously, I've not been on the radio before. And he just made us feel so welcome, so friendly, and Jess was brilliant. And I'm looking forward to hearing his opinion on things, actually. We've had a listener that has asked about swimming lessons. And I know he's got 2 kids, hasn't he? So 2 young kids. So it'd be interesting to know what his point of view is on that, I reckon.
Defos.
Love that. I love that. They also loved it when we walked into the radio station and he gave us a hug and then he said to Charlie, he was like, Charlie, how do you say your surname? Because I've bottled it all morning. He's like, is it Fuge, Buzz? Like,
How'd you say your surname?
But Bri, how did we answer him?
Well, this is how Gareth, Charlotte's husband, introduced himself to Charlotte. He said, it's Fuge, like huge, but with an F.
Yeah, huge. Like huge, but with
Sassy.
What a
what a line. What a pickup line. Well, like a charm, Charlie, didn't it? Eh? On I'm Not Judging, but today we are very excited to welcome our guest. He plays the scariest characters, but is actually the nicest guy. We call him the King of Bristol. And very happily today, he's wearing a cap that says Bristol on it. He's our friend, the lovely Jason.
Yeah! Oh, cheers, beauties. What a lovely welcome. That's nice. Very excited to go from being a listener of your wonderful podcast to being an absolute contributor. So,
yes, you will be.
I got a few things I've got to get off my chest, I'm not going to lie, so I can't wait to get into them.
Can't wait.
You are in the right place. Welcome to the Circle of Trust. So we've got to know, obviously we all know you from shows like Broadchurch, The Reunion, and your latest scary film, Blockhead. You've seen that, Vix, haven't you? You went to the premiere.
I did.
Was it scary?
It was, but I jumped out my skin when there was an actor that like was under a table and then hit his head, and I literally went, and then it just got worse from them.
I think they'll put that on the poster of the film where a bloke hits his head on the bottom of a table. I mean, that's what you go for, isn't it? Eh? That's going to be amazing. 5 stars.
I loved it, by the way. I absolutely loved it. Me and Matt thought
Thanks,
it was wicked.
mate.
You were so good.
Well, that was very kind of you both to come. It was a lot of fun. The Hollywood News called me a demented handyman, which I think I might get on a T-shirt, which is very nice. Yeah.
Listen, Joe, what was the one thing you thought you'd never say or do as a parent?
Okay, instinctively, and this happened just the other day, Fred, don't put your bum on that pigeon. Why did you think that was ever going to be in the Rolodex of like parenthood? Why did I think I'd ever feel the reason to turn around to one of my kids? Because, I'm like, surely me and my partner Gwen, we've been doing a good job. Surely I wouldn't ever have calls to turn around to my youngest and go, don't put your bum on that pigeon. Surely that's common sense.
Oh my God.
But turns out it's not.
We absolutely no context around that,
Is
please,
the pigeon
Joe.
okay?
No. Yes, the pigeon all right. All right, fair enough. Moving on.
No, I can attest to the safety and welfare of the pigeon because he was canny enough to get away as Fred was advancing towards him rear first, and he decided he was going to make a hasty getaway, which I thought was to his eternal credit.
How old's Fred?
He's 27. He's not really, he's just 3.
Love him. The second one's a wild.
Yeah.
Is that a universal truth? Because I think that's almost certainly the case.
It is. I
you
think so. Yeah, definitely.
They always say the first is brought up and the second is dragged up, don't they? That's like the like famous saying.
It makes so much sense because you think you're the same people, but you don't parent in any way the same.
You think
it's
you
completely
do, but
different. So how?
No.
Absolutely. So why would your kids be the same? They're bound to be different. And actually, I quite like that as well, though. Like, because it's almost like they instinctively know how to kind of dovetail to go, he's a bit more like that. I'm just going to be a bit more like that. This kid never puts his bum on pigeons. I'm going to go and put my bum on pigeons. And that's it. That's how they fill the void.
Oh, dear.
Now, Joe, what is the worst thing and then the best thing that you have done as being a parent?
I think the worst thing about being a parent is trying to put gloves on an infant. I mean, it's just I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's so
they
hard.
All end up in the one finger. Like, what is going on? It's like the penguin.
You think I've given myself about 3 hours to get out. I like plenty of time to get to this party, and I spend a good 2 hours and 45 minutes trying to put a pair of gloves on the kids. You're like, why?
Joe, get mittens. Get mittens.
You're right. Although one day, this bloke, right, this wonderful man, over at Bristol, did you do cycling school with your kids? It's it's on like a running track. So if the kids fall off, it's okay. It's got that kind of soft crumb. It's really good. And the people there, the volunteers, are amazing, right? So I've spent all this time trying to put gloves on my kid and just think I was just exasperated for years on end. He said, put your hand in. And he went, and then starfish. And the kid, and then Fred went, pah. And then in they went. I was like, where were you 4 years ago? I needed you. No, exactly. So it's exasperating. But it turns out the starfish technique, I feel like it's important. Yeah.
Love
that will help
hands
people.
In and
This
starfish.
will help people.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. So that previously was the hardest thing I found about parenting. And the best thing for me is living vicariously through your kid and watching it all through their eyes.
Yes.
Like things that you get kind of complacent about stuff, don't you? Like the kind of beauty of life, like, things that you forget to kind of take in and take time to smell the roses. Then all of a sudden they're looking at the most kind of like, things that you take for granted with this childlike wonder. You're like, you're right. That is absolutely magical. I can't believe it. Like taking my lads to Ashton Gate for the first time. I'm a big Bristol City fan, and walking up the concrete concourse and looking out in front of 27,000 other people. And then like all being at one, and the goal going in, and the limbs flying around, and the shouting and the screams is so visceral and it's so exciting, and they're just kind of, their eyes are greedily gobbling it up, and I find it utterly bewitching. So those experiences for me are just absolutely amazing.
That's lovely.
Magical. Well, Joe, we'd like to welcome you to the team of not judges today, and we want to hear your opinions on the topics we're going to be chatting about. Our first item is one we like to call Overheard in the Playground. Each week, we're lifting the lid on something we can't believe we've heard. So, Charlie, you're up this week. What have you overheard in the playground?
So, Joe, I overheard in the playground, it was pick up, and I was picking up the kids from school, and a teacher had taken a parent to the side. I could hear everything. And the teacher said, oh, are you going away for half term? It's coming up. And the parent said awkwardly, yeah, we are. And the teacher said, yeah, are you going to be back in time for when school starts?
Oh, no.
And the parent was like, I've entered the teacher trap. And then the teacher said, because your kid has said that you're not going to be and that you will be late. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Totally got ratted out by the kid.
Do you know what? They do you so dirty. You can't trust them with anything, can't you? I feel bad about that because it's so expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, to be able to go away at the best of times. And if you need to kind of eat into it, especially with like my kids being like, 9 and 3, respectfully, I'm like, if I'm taking them on a kind of culturally enriching, engaging holiday, I'm sorry if they have to take a couple of days off their potato printing, but ultimately, I feel like I feel like, in the grand scheme of things, they're going to get a lot more out of this experience than they may do having a couple of days with you. And I understand if everybody's at it, it's tricky for the school. But also what bothers me is the school don't get the money. We found out this out on the radio. Yeah. The school doesn't get the money. So it all goes to the central pot. I mean, I felt like if all of a sudden, we're seeing, playground equipment being like upgraded or anything like that, you're like, yeah, that's my fortnight in Turkey for that. But,
I don't mind the fine. No.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. I mean, look at that seesaw. Yeah, exactly. You got a slider, you're gold. But if you haven't got any of those things or it ain't going to your school, then I just think, like, also, why are the teachers on it so much? Like, why do they want to go to the central pot? They're not reaping the rewards of it either. Yeah, okay. So I think if you're not a persistent offender, let it go.
Yeah, definitely.
I used to be a teacher and I used to work in a secondary school, and I probably won't be employed as a teacher after this anyway, so I might as well tell the story. But the kids who did AS levels, so they were sort of 16 going on 17, they'd finished their AS levels and then they had to come back in for like 3 weeks after they'd finished in preparation for their A levels, which happened to coincide with Glastonbury. So they'd be like, oh, miss, we're not going to be here next week. I'd be like, oh, why is that? But actually, like when the door was closed to the classroom, I was like, go and have a break. You're not missing much, don't worry, you'll catch up next year. So I was like, do you know what? You will have a much better experience doing that than you would
quality life teaching
experience. You stuff over the summer. You're going to forget anyway. Yeah. Like, go and have fun.
Absolutely. I mean, Glastonbury is without a shadow of doubt a culturally enriching experience and one that you remember forever.
If you can remember it.
Yeah, if you can. And if you don't remember it, you weren't there. So I think it's just one of those things. Like, I absolutely love Glastonbury. I just wonder whether some teachers, are so keen to rat parents out. Yeah. Do you do that because you don't really like the parents and you just go, well, do you know what? I don't care. So I don't mind purposely throwing you under the bus. Or are they in some way financially incentivized like a parking warden?
Interesting.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Lifting the lid on that scandal. Yes.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. 50 quid every time they rat another parent out. I don't know. It could be quite lucrative, couldn't it?
Dispatches will be in touch with the podcast and be like, guys, we've heard this rumour.
I've got nothing but admiration for the teaching profession. And if it was something, if I wasn't to be an actor or a presenter, then I think teaching is definitely a profession I'd have gone into.
Oh, you'd been a great teacher.
Well, do you know what? I love those teachers that don't just turn up and take the money. There's a couple of them, but most people do it as a real vocation because they've got nothing but love for trying to water the seeds of our nation's youth. And I think it's so commendable and so beautiful. The people that go in an hour early, go in hours late and play their classes like symphonies. And we all remember those brilliant people, don't we? Yeah. Those teachers that lit a fire in us and we wouldn't be where we are now without them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've definitely ratted out my parents before.
Did you?
So, when I was really little, my dad, we went away on holiday and my dad had a mate that was a painter decorator guy and he was wallpapering my bedroom. And so when we came back, it was going to be all wallpapered. Anyway, went off on holiday, came back and the bedroom was all wallpapered, but then there was just like this square that was just like stuck on the wall. So it's almost like he'd wallpapered everything and then just forgotten a square or had a bad batch on like a square. So it's just a square bit of the wallpaper, not lined up or anything, just stuck like on the wall. And I was like, what's that about? My dad, I could hear him saying to my mum, like, this is absolutely rubbish. Like, what's he done here? And then when we saw them, like at the cricket ground or the football ground or whatever it was, he was like, oh, yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks a lot. And I was like, you've done a terrible job. It was absolutely awful. I was like, my dad said, what's with this square? And my dad was like, shut up. Hand over my mouth like this. Like, ratted him out completely. Yeah.
Hey, I think that kind of honesty needs reporting. I think it's fair play to you as well. Did he come round and fix it as a result?
We just put like a chest of drawers in front of it.
Oh
my God, that is
See, the thing is, we were being too British about it. You're very being too British and polite. You should have come back round there and finished the job that he started. Good on you, I say. You were just doing what your parents weren't brave enough to do.
Thanks, Joe.
Brilliant.
Conversely, like my eldest, we were playing over a park, and we were playing hide and seek, and it was just the two of us. And you don't know loneliness until you're play park adjacent as a middle-aged man hiding in the bushes. Because I know I'm playing hide and seek, but everybody else doesn't know that I'm playing hide and seek. I'm just a 45-year-old bald bloke hiding in a park, which is really close to where your kids are on the swings or on the seesaw. So it's horrible.
Who often plays
it's absolutely
murderers.
horrible. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I look like the type, don't I? And so that was annoying. I wanted to get found as soon as possible so I could just be out and just go, oh. My son, as many kids start their hide and seek career, just being absolutely dreadful at it. Like, you could see their feet. They could just put their hands in front of their face, just going, I'm hiding, because if they can't see you, they think you can't see them. They're invisible to the world. So he's gone through that, and I was thinking it's going to be a doddle finding it. So he's gone from being the world's worst hide and seeker to a Navy SEAL that refuses to betray his position no matter what the cost. And it's awful. Awful. So I'm there, I'm trapped. I'm trapped in this park looking for my son, just shouting at the top of my voice, go, where is he? Where is he? Eventually, after getting 17 parents alongside helping me out, looking at me like I'm the worst parent in the world, then finally he betrays his position, gives himself up, comes out with his hands up as well.
That is brilliant.
That is brilliant.
Oh, love him.
Yeah. So I feel like he might be all right at keeping secrets, because he's certainly all right at keeping stum when he's playing hide and seek.
Wow, what a ninja.
Joe, what do your kids think of you being on the TV and the radio then?
I suppose, like Briony, you must be in a similar boat where you're like, I don't think they know anything else really. And plus, a lot of the stuff that I do on the telly, they can't really see because it's dad being absolutely awful, or at least being accused of being awful. So it's fun to let them see. So like I tend as much as I can. I've got a new show that comes out on Amazon towards the end of the year, and it's like kind of younger science fiction stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's called Wayfinders, and I get to play this really creepy looking double crossing orc, but it's good family fun, like that kind of that Sunday night television, Sunday afternoon, evening television you used to watch with your kids, or used to watch when you were kids with your parents.
Yes,
it's a kind of return to that, and I'm a lot more mindful that I want to be in stuff that my kids can actually watch. But I don't know. I think they just think that everyone's on the telly, but also everyone is on the telly now, aren't they? Whether it's your Ring doorbell or seeing Granddad on Zoom, so they can't differentiate between whether it's that telly or this telly.
That's
We're all
so
on
true.
the box.
I've said that before. I said, because people are like, oh, Nora is not excited they're on a telly. I was like, she couldn't give a shit. Like she can film a video and then watch it straight away, and she's on the screen. Whereas like when we were kids, I remember Charles we used to call it the BBC. The camera was so big.
Love that thing.
To film any kind of event.
We took it to Newquay. We took it to Newquay when we finished our GCSEs, and when anything funny happened, we were like, hold on, and we were like, huh, and we connected, and it took like 10 minutes to do, and we were like, right, go, and it filmed 30 seconds, and we were like, right, dead battery, we're out.
Dead battery.
As a result of that, we haven't got any footage of ourselves when we were younger than about 16 or so, because it doesn't really, it might exist on some VHS. Really kind of faded VHS somewhere, but where would you get that? And could you be bothered to kind of transfer it? Or maybe you could, but because of that, I think that kids just all think that everybody's on the telly, and so it doesn't really matter.
Now, Joe, you're very well known, as well as playing murderers and scary people, to also being an excellent human being. Our producer said that when she Googled you, she found yet another thing that you've done for charity. Have you always been the kind of person that wants to give back?
I feel like I got lovely parents, lovely family, lovely friends around me, and I feel like as you get older, you have a compulsion to leave the world a slightly nicer place than you found it. I feel like it should be the job of any kind of sentient adult, really. And so, when just before my eldest was born, I was at that kind of that horrible feeling where you're like, I don't know, like a kind of impotency towards how I could affect a change or make a difference. So I sat there, and I've had a load of rubbish plans in my life. So it's about time I had a good one. And I came up with this idea of trying to get together 499 other people and all paying £1 a week, and only we could decide where that money would go. So every week we would just give 500 quid away, and it could be your neighbour next door, say, and his wife got cancer, so he had to give up work, and you just want to say, there's 500 quid, like, pay the mortgage this month, keep the fridges filled or whatever, like, just to let people know that you care. And if you see anybody that you go, oh, they could really do with an extra hand or like a helping hand, you can go, oh, I could send that nomination to 500 Reasons.
Yeah.
It's so lovely. It's so lovely.
You give, don't you, Vix?
I was lucky enough to be one of the 499, and it's just been so lovely to see what an impact and a difference that has made for so many people. And like you say, Jo, being able to, like, I've done quite a few, and I did one the other week, and like just knowing that, I was like, oh my God, I can put her forward for 500 Reasons and get her a little bit of money to help her. And there's more groups now, isn't there, Jo? Since we've started
there's 10.
There's
10. Yeah, there's 10, including one in Ukraine, one in Ghana, and they're all got their own completely autonomous group. Do you know Judy Hesmond-Harsh?
Yes.
Who played Hayley Cropper in Coronation Street.
She's so great.
Besides, she set her own up. It's much bigger than mine. Like there's probably like 1,000 people.
Oh,
like for me, mine's like ours is capped at 500. She gives over £1,000 away every week with her.
That's
group
amazing.
there, and they help lots of different other people.
So
and that's what it is. It's just an idea to go in the world. I would love to see it happen in schools. And seeing kids have a real say in the kind of positive effect that they'd like to have on their local community, And you can start at 100 quid. So you just have like a couple of classes or whatever, all parents giving £1, and it could be used to to generate things that need fixing in your schools, because unfortunately those schools are desperately underfunded, but also in the local community gardens and lots of bits and bobs. And you could just be like a real positive hand in that, having that conversation with governors and teachers and kids themselves. I think it'd be a really lovely thing to do. So it's my fond hope that that maybe somebody listening might just go, actually, that'd be a good thing to do in our school.
It's a fab idea.
It's such a good idea, and it's manageable, it's and people want to help. It's just sometimes they don't have the means to do it because they're trying to just survive themselves. So being told that actually I'm going to give £1 and that's actually going to make a difference is mega.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. Very, very often the money's less important than the actual.
I was going to say that
itself.
Definitely. Like one particular person that we helped was just like the thought that people were thinking of me, and that it just filled them up and gave them a little bit more hope that the world wasn't such a horrific place after what they'd gone through. So it's wonderful.
Every week we like to keep you updated on what's going on in the chaotic world of parenting. Well, this one is all about going back to the 90s and parenting how you would in the 90s. Well, ish. Brilliant. I mean, I'm assuming some things we definitely don't want to bring back from the 90s. But the headline reads, that 90s show, parents are turning to childhood for tips on raising their kids in a tech age. So burnt out millennial parents are fed up of coping with kids being increasingly hooked on technology. And that they're chronically online. So what they're trying to do is raise their kids like it's the 90s. Things like hanging out over board games, dropping by the library, shock horror, giving the kids a chance to be bored. So I want to know top tips from the 90s that you'd like to bring back, and any examples that you've got that you might do with your kids that the 90s parents would approve of.
I'll tell you what I wouldn't do. Having ashtrays round, whether you smoked or not. Like, what on earth was going on there? Where, if your uncle come round, decided he wanted to fire one up in your living room, you just had to get an ashtray, even though nobody in your house smoked. You're like, that's scandalous. Imagine someone come round your house now and just decided to spark up a fag. You're like, what on earth are you doing? It is ludicrous everywhere. And I remember going around my grandparents' house when and I love them to bits, but I reckon there was probably about 8 or 9 smokers in a very poorly ventilated room, and I was sat there just where's Grandad gone? He's over there, he's in the corner. That was absolutely madness. Absolute madness.
Oh, do you know what?
So
I went to a vintage shop the other day and I bought what I thought was a plate to put cakes on, and it's really ornate, pink glass. And I got it home and I looked at it and I was like, That's an ashtray.
It's a giant 70s ashtray.
It's a giant 70s ashtray that people would have, like you say, in a room like that, and it would just gradually get higher and higher and higher.
Oh my God, yeah.
Absolutely minging. You look on the ceiling, and some people in your family or whatever, there'd be like a yellow tar stain that would be where they'd just be puffing away all day long. You're like, I'm surprised any of them lasted more than about 30,
and everything
to be honest.
was so flammable as well. It's surprising they weren't up in flames on a daily basis.
Do you know what? One of my favourite photos is my old man in the 80s, and I'm wearing this kind of thing for the market, this Spider-Man cape, Briony nylon cape, which is the most flammable thing going. He's got a friend like that. He's doing my cape up like that, and I'm thinking, my God, that's some dodgy old parenting, that, isn't it?
That's the story of how Joe lost his hair.
That cape's still there, welded to my back. We can't scrape it off.
Oh my days! Anything you want to bring back, girls?
Conquer Wars.
Yes.
Do you remember them? Because I feel like that's two
Wars.
activities in one, right? So you can take them for the wholesome walk and pick some conkers.
Yeah.
Stick them on a shoelace, whack them.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, it's a bumper year this year.
It is.
But did you know that in the world, the Conquer World community, it has been ripped apart by scandal?
No.
What's happened?
Yes, the international world champion has been stripped of his medals because he used a metal conker.
No.
I kid you not. Apparently, he said it was just in his pocket and he never used it. But even still, it wasn't in the spirit of decent conquering. So he's been stripped of his medals, yeah.
No wonder no one plays it anymore.
As well he should. Exactly. With rat bags like that. I mean, yeah.
Dangerous game.
The morality.
Metal on in a conker.
I didn't want to bring back capital punishment until I heard what that bloke done. I was thinking, well, you know what? Hanging's too good for him.
Yeah.
In this last part of the show, we welcome our listeners into our circle of trust. You're already here, Joe. You've been part of it for a while now. It's called Between You and Me, except it's not between you and me. It's between you, me, and all of our listeners. So, Joe, this is the part of the podcast where we all offer unqualified advice. Please feel free to join in at any moment. And Charlie will often offer some inspirational words. She's our wise owl. And
nice.
So please do help us out too. So this week we've had an email. It reads, Dear Briony, Charlie and Vix, I've been really enjoying listening and I wanted to share a thought, or you could call it a rant with you. I've been taking my kids to swimming lessons for almost 10 years. I hear you. I am scared to tot up how much I've spent. My eldest started swimming pretty much the moment they cut him out of me. 8 weeks later. It felt pretty quick. And he is still having lessons. Why he can't swim a whole length of the pool yet. My youngest didn't start until she was 4 because of COVID, and they are pretty much at the same level. Every week I have to go and sit in what feels like a hot, sweaty torture chamber. That is the local swimming baths. When will this end? I know it's a life skill, but the ongoing cost and weekly torture is driving me nuts. So I'd love to hear what you all think about swimming lessons. Thanks, Sally from Manchester.
I have got some thoughts about this, to be honest. I mean, the difference between, again, good teachers and bad teachers, like I resent 17-year-old boys and girls spending time on their phone just watching kids go up and down the pool and not really joining in and getting involved. What I'm bothered about most of all, though, is my own son. I'm like, why won't you listen to me? Like, I can swim. I know exactly what I'm doing. If you got in the pool with me and you did as I was teaching you, you'd be doing it all right in no time flat. But yet, for some reason, you have to surrender it to another person. And we at the moment, he's got a really, really great teacher in Jubilee, and he's really prospering and it's really good. But we've had to kiss some frogs to get to our sweet prince. I'm not going to lie. Like some of the abject teenage laziness that you see from some of these swimming instructors is just laudable, frankly. So I feel for Sally, and it already is sweaty. It's sweaty. You're not allowed to get your phone out because, quite rightly, they don't want to make sure anyone's doing anything that they shouldn't be doing. You've got to take your shoes and socks off as well, which is another thing. And I just feel like it's going to be Veruca Central. I'm not even swimming. I'm not even swimming and I'm running the risk of verrucas just by being a pedestrian, being a punter. So I think all of it absolutely grinds my gears, if I'm honest. But why won't our kids just take advice from us and just sit there in the pool and just swim away?
Yeah, they just want to piss about, don't they, when they're with us?
Yeah, and go, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You're like, but why? Why?
Let's practice some swimming. No.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We can doss around for like half an hour if you just get you just do the right thing. Let's get the basics. Let's have 10 minutes of quality swimming time, and then you can just doss about and pretend to be a crab and do whatever you want, and you can jump on me back like I'm a surfboard, all that good stuff. We'll do all of it. But first of all, let's just get the basics down. Anyway, that's my rant over. That's triggered me.
You do feel, obviously, I think Joe feels very similar to Sally. I took Nora swimming the other week and I was like, right, I'm going to do some lengths. Why don't you do some lengths with me? And she was like, no, I don't want to. I was like, yeah, but you could do with doing some practice. No, I don't want to. So do you know what she did instead? She counted the amount of tiles along the side of the wall.
She'd rather do that than listen to you. Oh, it's so expensive as well. It's gone up.
It's so expensive.
For that, like you said, Joe, like half an hour with like some people that like a lot of them don't really want to be there.
I was going to say, do the kids even like it? Do the kids even enjoy the swimming lessons? Because I know you said about the 17-year-olds, but like my eldest had one that was like an older lady, and I just questioned, why is she doing it? She clearly didn't want to be there. She really wasn't loving the children, any of them, not just my kid, them all. And brutal.
But who among us have not had a job that we didn't like? You still do it to the best of your ability while you're there, don't you? You just sit there, like moaning and groaning, texting or flirting with a lifeguard and stuff. You're like, come and earn your corn. I'm absolutely boiling here, and it's costing me like, I don't know, was it like 10, 15 quid a session? The bare minimum is to look at my kid when he's swimming.
We did like a crash course in the summer.
Yes.
So where you can do like a crash course one. So it's like less intense. We're doing it every week. And when they're knackered from school and all of that, we just did in the summer holidays, 6-week like course. And my kids kind of got on board with that. So
I've heard good things about those.
That's good advice, that.
Yeah.
There we go. See, Carl has always got the sensible advice every time. If you're having a parenting problem that you want some unqualified advice or excellent advice from Charles, then please email us or leave us a voice note. You can find the link on our Instagram bio at I'm Not Judging But Pod. And please head over to our YouTube channel to watch us and subscribe. Now, Joe, we like to ask every guest at the end of the podcast to finish off this sentence. I'm not judging, but, and then you've got to say something that winds you up.
I'm not judging, but don't surprise me if I feel like I'm going to be enjoying some adult-only time by bringing your kid along and thinking that's going to be delightful. It's not. It's not. I mean, if we're having a play date, that's brilliant. Like, bring your kids along, it's absolutely great. We'll all play together, so long as I know what it is. But if I'm excited about some kind of indiscretion, bawdy conversation and all that kind of thing, and a few scoops with my pals, you turning up with your 9 or 10-year-old uninvited is a very different animal, very different beast than the one that I feel like I've signed up for. Now, I'm not looking for a night out where I'm going to be drinking, I don't know, Bacardi Breezers out of a shoe. But what I don't want to be doing is minding my P's and Q's because your son's there. It's not the same. There's a time and a place for that, and it's utterly delightful. But also there's a time where it's just about the adults, and that is okay as well.
Yes, it is.
Love that.
Thanks.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
Oh,
and thank you so
It's been
much.
such a pleasure.
I want you
thank
to
you
come
so much
back
for joining
already.
us.
Yes. We need more stories.
I feel like Mel Gibson and What Women Want. I've had a little peek under the curtain. It's illuminating. I'm learning so much. But honestly, keep up the fantastic work. I absolutely love the pod. So thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you so much, Joe. We love you. Yeah, check Joe out every morning on BBC Radio Bristol and at Joe Sims Online. If you've enjoyed listening today, then please share our link with a friend who you think might enjoy it too. And also, please do rate us and leave us a review. That'd be really helpful. Thank you. Thanks, Charlie and Vix. Love you, girls.
We love you.
Love you.
Well, love you guys. We'll be back next week with more of I'm Not Judging But, and another great guest, the wonderful comedian Jess Foster-Q will be with us. Can't wait for that. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.